Thank you, the Right Honorable Thomas Tayewa, the Deputy Speaker of our Parliament, and Mrs. Anita Tayewa. I think let me follow suit and say something I actually really don't respect very much, but which I will follow today. All protocol observed. I have been writing down a few notes. And I just want to say that I stand before you to express my and my family's deep sadness at the loss of our brother, our friend, and the Speaker of Uganda's Parliament, the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. We extend our condolences to the immediate family, the children, the parents, the wider family. His constituents of Omoro County, Parliament, the government of Uganda, and the people of Uganda as a whole. The late Oulanyah was a man of many qualities. You had many people outlining them here. He was a bridge builder, a consummate advocate of the rights of the ordinary people. He served Uganda with great diligence, dedication, and dignity. And as I just said, he was a bridge builder. He was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, in the seventh Parliament, on a multi-party ticket. I don't know if there was such a ticket. But there are those of us in Parliament who subscribed. Sorry I took long to begin speaking. This is because Honorable Cheng will bear me out that Corona is still around. It's still around, and one of the methods of spreading of Corona is the microphone. So I don't take chances with it. Jacob went to Parliament on a multi-party ticket. And of course, you know, he came in under the movement ticket, under the movement political system. And we had a lot of debates and differences. We, in the leadership of the movement, noticed him, a young, brilliant, nationalistic man. As usual, we approached him and found him amenable. And one thing led to another, and we built confidence and trust between us. And I speak this with authority because I represented the movement in that effort. It was that confidence that we developed in him that led to his election as the chairman of the particularly important committee at the time of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. It was a crucial position because we were debating the amendment of the Constitution at the time on a matter which was very emotive, where there were differences of opinion, and where the side that he belonged to was totally opposed to that amendment. So why did we elect Jacob Oulanyah, the chairman? This was a committee where we had majority membership, where we could have the chair if we wanted. We chose Jacob Oulanyah to chair it. And the reason was what I've just said, that we found that he was not only a knowledgeable person, he was not only a brilliant guy, he was nationalistic. He did not espouse causes of sectarianism of any kind, tribal, religious, or anything of the kind. And he did indeed perform that role very well. As you know, the Constitution was amended. He did a sterling job. I then had long and thoughtful moments with him after the successful removal of term limits from the Constitution and so on. Of course, I was asking him to declare his support for the movement. He told me that although he clearly shared the political opinions of the movement, he believed that leadership was a relationship between the leader and the led. He did not want to leave his people behind. So he stood on a Marot Party ticket, and unfortunately, he lost. You remember that? He lost 2006, I think it was, he lost. So I stayed with him. We had a very close relationship, me and Jacob. In the next election, he stood on the movement ticket, and I instructed our campaign task force to focus on Omoro and make sure that NRM captures it under the leadership of Jacob Oulanyah. We did. We won Omoro then, and that was part of the beginning of the political turnaround in Acholi sub-region. Of course, we had cadres like the then chairman of Gulu, Ochora, my brother, the late Ochora, Otema, Charles Otema. Although he was in the army, he was very active on the ground. His young brother, Richard Torong, who was acting like a lion. Honorable Windoro, Honorable Betty Begombe. We had many other people who, of course, had been fighting for the movement at the time. But we had registered loss after loss in elections. When we won Omoro, that was the beginning of the turnaround. And I'm happy to say that although I lost when I stood for president, they voted well. So from that time on, Oulanyah served as an effective member of parliament until his demise. Honorable Tair was, he says, of course, you know very well, the speaker is the representative of the House itself in its powers, in its proceedings, and its dignity. The role the speaker plays by virtue of office requires the position to be filled by a dedicated, senior, and experienced parliamentarian who must have intimate understanding of parliamentary life, of the problems of members of parliament, collectively and individually, and of the moods and foibles, or the minor weaknesses or eccentricities in the parliamentary members' characters in the House. an experience which can be acquired only through many years spent on the benches of the House itself. He must have a deep-seated reverence for the institution of Parliament, an understanding of what lies behind the outward ceremony, these gowns and things you wear as Speaker or now as Deputy Speaker, and a faith in the democratic government. A newspaper once, talking about this office in what they call the Mother of Parliaments in the UK, wrote, "The office of Speaker does not demand rare qualities. It demands common qualities in a rare degree." A good speaker is not necessarily an extraordinary person. Therefore, he is an ordinary person, but an ordinary person of the highest caliber. That was Jacob Oulanyah. He obviously had all these qualities and more. So, we do weep the demise of this great Ugandan. We weep because we loved this kind leader who persevered through all manner of adversity. Not for the incidental, let me tell you another story. When he lost and he had stood on a multi-party ticket in 2001, was it one? 2006. Then he quickly came and he asked NRM if we could send him to the East African Legislative Assembly. And of course, I knew we didn't have any better person in the party to represent Uganda in the East African Legislative Assembly than Jacob Oulanyah. So I recommended him to the caucus. He was recommended by the vice chairman, Mzee Moses Chigongo, and the president didn't take sides, as he doesn't normally take sides in elections of this kind within the party. He was turned down. The NRM guys told me, no, this man became NRM only yesterday. How can we send him when we have people who have been sweating for NRM all this time? So, Jacob Oulanyah has experienced many adversities, and he persevered through them all, not for the sake of ambition or vanity, not for wealth or power, but only for the people and the country he loved. So he is dead. But let us all be comforted by the words of one writer who said, "It is not the length of life, but the depth of it that matters." I always give the example of Jesus. Jesus lived for 33 years. Today, this service is about Jesus. You heard what the bishop was talking, what the Chief Justice has repeated. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. It is 2,000 plus years. The young man died at 33. We still talk about him. So, what matters is not the length of life, but the depth of it. Jacob, without repeating what many people have said, achieved many things. Many have not succeeded even when they have lived for 90 or more years, have not succeeded in achieving. So, friends, as someone said elsewhere, in reference to a widow who had lost her husband, who had rendered an exemplary service to the people. And this is my message to you, the children, the relatives, to all of us Ugandans. And I quote, "As you know so well, the passage of time never really heals the tragic memory of such a great loss. But we carry on because we have to, because our loved one would want us to, and because there is still light to guide us in the world from the love they gave us." Jacob Oulanyah would want us to carry on. So we carry on. We are all grieved that Oulanyah's awesome presence is with us no more. But we have pride because he was one of those people who made a difference to the lives of those around them. His understanding, his love, and care for others were apparent to anyone in his presence. So, as Bishop Muhima said here, Jacob has left an indelible mark that can't be erased by his demise. Death can never take a good man away, for in the hearts of the people he inspired, the legacy remains and is continuous throughout generations. Thank you.
Thank you, our senior leaders.